I'm delighted this afternoon to be talking to the legendary KK Downing. KK, how are you?
Great, Andy. Thank you very much, mate.
And yeah, the reason we're here, I mean, there's plenty of reasons why we're here, is on the 3rd of November, 3 months after your triumphant return to the stage at Bloodstock in August, you will be joining David Ellefson at your venue, Steel Mill, for a very, very special concert. So tell us about how that came together.
Yeah, well, kind of Dave and myself, we have a mutual friend, and there was some talk about, obviously Dave is coming to the UK and then he's off to Switzerland and Italy. I think he comes over almost once a year, I think, and does a kind of a bass story thing, for musicians and stuff. And he plays, and he brings a band with him and plays some Megadeth stuff and some other bands, He used to do some Maiden stuff and stuff like that. And but anyway, as lots of people have been asking me, he said, would you play a few songs with us? And I said, well, it's not something I want to make a habit of, really, even though I've only done it once before, and I suggested, I said, have you got a gig in the Midlands? And anywhere in the Midlands? He says, no, just one lined up for London at the moment. And I said, well, do you fancy coming to the Steel Mill, which is a venue I'm involved with? It's a big venue in Wolverhampton, which kind of covers all of the Midlands, if you like. And so that ball started to roll. And then, and he said, well, because he's pretty good friends with Ripper as well, as lots of people are. I said, well, what about if I ask Ripper to come over, And I kind of said, well, that'd be great. If you do that, maybe, who can we put on the drums? I can give Les Binks a call, from the 70s, when he did those albums with us all those years ago. And so things started to take off from there. And I said, well, if that's going to happen, we can't just bring Ripper over all this way to, sing a few songs. So we'll do a full preset, And so it was just a question, who else can we put on the guitar? And I know a guy from the Midlands, his name is AJ Mills, with a band called Hostile, really. But I worked with those guys from a very young age. And AJ is the type of player that actually could have took my job, when I quit the band. So it looks good, plays good, and performs good. So I'm really excited about that. And we've had a couple of rehearsals, to be honest, yesterday and the day before. Les came up from London, and and we had a couple of standing guys, and it sounds fantastic already. Even before the other guys get over here. So we're ready to go, really. I'm just waiting for the day to come around, really.
It's great news. Now, at Bloodstock, and we don't want to give any secrets away, but at Bloodstock, it was 4 songs you did on the back end of Ross's set. Now, for this, what can fans expect? Is it going to dig even further into the back catalogue, honour some of the anniversary issues? You had Killing Machine last year, Unleashed of These this year, British Steel next year, all anniversary years. Give us a sort of flavour of what you've been thinking about in terms of set.
Yeah, well, I have a set list in mind, and I think it's just it's so difficult, isn't it, to put a pre-set list together. But the fact that Les is on there, obviously we'll be doing some stuff from the albums that Les did with us, and we will with what we now call the Ripper years, in Priest. So we'll be doing some stuff from there, and there'll be some other classics as well, and potentially one song that no Judas Priest has ever played before, So, and that's not just to promote the show or anything. It's just I'm really excited about doing the song, and I can't tell anybody what it is because I want it to be the ultimate surprise.
And quite right. I mean, I looked at the ticket prices, a really reasonable ticket price as well. So and it's a Sunday, so no excuse for anyone not turning up.
No. Well, how that came about is because obviously lots of fans see me at the Steel Mill when I go and see bands, whether Skid Row or Vicky Joe or whoever it is, and they say, KK, when are you going to get up there and play for us? So I said to the guys at the steel mill, if we're going to do this, I don't want to be charging, the loyal supporters of the venue, a premium. So I said, let's do a rock bottom price ticket. We did do 200 tickets, VIP tickets, we call them, at £20, but they sold out in 2 hours. And of course that took us completely by surprise, really. But general admission is just £10, and it's a big venue, holds about 3,500 people. All standing. It's absolutely a great venue for what we do. Our genre of music. It's absolutely ideal because it's an independent venue. It doesn't have that sterile feel, that lots of present day venues have. Has a bar license till 5 a.m, which is good.
What I love is it's in the centre of what I call KK country, because you've always been, you sort of went from West Brom to Walsall, you went to catering colleges in Hagley, you had the place out in Shropshire, so it's great that you still got your roots firmly planted in the West Mids.
It is, well, it's the Black Country, isn't it? Which is all encompassing. It's a massive area, really. And so I don't, and I was growing up, obviously wanted to be a musician. Every venue, every pub, every club, everywhere was a gig, and it's kind of all changed now. But I think that, before the steel mill opened up, all there was, let's say, in the city of Wolverhampton was just stuff that was run by the council, and you get herded in at 7 o'clock and you're herded back out at 10:30, and you don't really, it's just like goes by so fast, Whereas the steel mill is completely different, you can, it's a big meandering type of venue, lots of different rooms, outside areas for smoking and stuff, and it's really, really cool. Got, great plans for it,
Yeah, and I'm just looking forward, people should take a look at the website. Is it kkdowney.net? And the bands you've got coming up, you've got Last in Line, you've got all sorts of bands coming up as well.
Yeah, lots of bands coming through now. It was a bit tough to start with, to get, because lots of bands are signed to agents, and lots of agents have this kind of relationship with with venues and conglomerates. Obviously got the big Live Nation who do a fantastic job, but it's difficult to start to book bands. But the venues are very well established now, so a lot of people are coming through, and and lots of bands use it for production rehearsals. Dragon Force have been just doing their pre-tour rehearsals in there, and so lots of things go on there. And there's rehearsal rooms, lock-up rooms, and going to build a studio there. So it'll be very, 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 very useful in the area of the home of metal, as it's called now. But the one big reason I got involved is the fact that obviously lots of bands, we can try and give them a leg up, give them a support slot and stuff like that,
And the great thing about the giving event, you're giving a leg up to a little known singer called Blaze Bayley.
Yeah, Blaze is in support, so we're very pleased about that, because Blaze is from the other side of Birmingham there, but he's still local, a Black Country lad, and obviously he did, I think it was obviously the 2 albums with Maiden, so with Blaze in support, it's a full-on metal night. You got the Maiden connections, Megadeth, Priest. It's a mega Maiden Priest fest.
Yeah, and talking of booking, one other thing I know that Dave's doing, he's got a book out, I think, called More Life Than Death, or With Death, and of course last year you had your book out, Heavy Duty Days and Nights.
Yeah, that was the original reason Dave asked me to step up and do a few things, because he was obviously coming to the UK to promote his book, his second book. So the thing was all going to be based around a celebration for Dave, really, and that is going to be pretty prolific on the night, because Dave's going to be he's going to be interviewed, and there's going to be question and answers for people. So yeah, that was really how it all started.
I went to Bonham's last year for when a lot of your guitars were auctioned off, including just the '67 Flying V, which commanded an amazing price. What have you got left, and what will you be playing on November the 3rd?
Yeah, well, I've got, like I say, with such a long career, and fortunate for me, when you get to a certain point, you have so many guitar makers literally throwing guitars at you. You started to couldn't move in the house with guitars. So at some point you need to thin things down if you're not going to be playing them. But I'm quite happy with my KXK guitars, which are handmade in San Diego. So I've got 4 of those. But I've still got some of the older stuff that I've been playing on tour for probably the last 20 years. But my classic guitars from the 60s and the 70s, they're too fragile and became too, too revered, really. I think I was just afraid that they'd get stolen, broken, and I found myself never playing them, so I decided to sell them and let someone else, have enjoyment from them. They just stay locked up, year after year after year. And obviously I'm coming to an age now, mate, where, you start to consolidate. As the advice is, when you get to a certain age, it's all about consolidating, and I think that's good advice, really, to be fair.
It's great talking to you, Ken, and just a reminder to everyone, if you hadn't heard it already, 3rd of November, fantastic show up at the Steel Mill just outside Wolverhampton, featuring Blaze Bailey in support, Dave Ellefson and his solo bands, promoting Sleeping Giants, their album, with KK and band, including Ripper Owens and Les Binks, amongst others, performing a set of classic Priest and a few surprises. It's going to be a great evening.
Yeah, it's a full production show, lasers, flames, the whole thing. I mean, quite simply, the Steel Mill has an in-house production team and company, so why not? If you can, let's do it, just like I remember it.
Certainly. All right. Great to talk to you, and we'll see you up there. All the best.
Thank you, mate. See you there, mate. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.